This is how I set up my iPhone and iPad to stay organized, store ideas, learn more stuff, and get distracted less. First, you need to clearly define your device's purpose and delete everything that doesn't serve one of these 6 core purposes that actually bring value to your life. And then all you've got to do is optimize each of your devices. For me, my iPhone 14 Pro and my iPad Pro, so that you're using each of those devices for the stuff that device is actually good at. So first purpose of my iPhone and iPad, capture. Capturing the stuff that I want or need to do and capturing ideas. First of those, task management. So I personally use Trello, but you could equally use Apple Reminders, Todoist, Microsoft OneNote. 2 reasons I use this over Apple Reminders. The first is that it works on Windows. So I use a Windows work laptop and I like to be able to look at Trello on that. And the second is that while Apple does allow you to use a Kanban view if you use the sections and columns features, I personally really love Trello's ability to add cards for individual to-do list items really quickly, but then also within those cards to add multiple checklists. So for example, at work, on a single project, I'll have 1 card, and I might then have tens of checklists within that card. So I really think that Trello gives you maximum flexibility as a to-do list app. In terms of how I actually use my iPhone and iPad to maximize the effectiveness of this task management system across 2 devices, my iPhone is basically my on-the-go adding a to-do list item device. My iPad, though, is the device I then have open on my desk whenever I'm at work so that I can just keep track of everything I have going on. The iPad's touchscreen is amazing for being able to really easily move items around. I then do also use Apple Reminders, but for a very specific purpose, using Siri for an urgent reminder, like remind me to post a birthday card to my mum this afternoon at 3 p.m. And there's also a really cool feature within Reminders that allows you to set a reminder that's triggered by either arriving at a location or even when you open a message to someone. And then the second piece of a task management puzzle is you need a calendar. I personally use Apple Calendar, but Google is also fantastic. 3 key points on calendars. 1, use shared calendars with your partner as much as possible. Second, one of the things I absolutely love using my iPad for is when I need my calendar split screened alongside another app like a booking site, or for example, my record in Craft of how many holiday days I've taken this year. And third tip, add alerts before events pretty much every time, more than 1 alert, and more time than you think you'll need to get ready. The other thing you obviously want to use your devices to capture is ideas. So note taking, writing, especially using the Apple Pencil on the iPad. So I personally use Craft. I think it is an absolutely beautiful and very versatile option that has quite a bit more functionality than Apple Notes, but I do also think if you're looking for a completely free option, Apple Notes is a great app that has had increasingly good functionality over the last year or 2. So my iPad is the main tool that I use to make notes when I'm not at my desk, and it's also the tool I use to make notes when I want to handwrite them. And I do think there are a few folders of notes that everyone should have on their devices. The first is recipes, then present list for stuff you want and a list for other people in your life, workout and stretching routines, film, restaurant, and book recommendations that you get from other people. Next up, packing lists. I generally input a previous packing list from a broadly similar trip, give Claude the details of my current trip, tell it to reproduce a packing list, and copy that into my note app with checkboxes so that I can check off the items as I pack. Pretty much all of those lists I'll share with my wife Beth just to make sharing information between you so much easier. The very final capture related hack is to scan really important post or bill so that you keep a record of it stored within your notes app rather than searching back through loads of posts you've received since then. All right, the second purpose of my devices is to track, and there are 4 things I use my devices specifically to track. The first is money. I have all of my banking apps on my iPad for 2 reasons. The first is that getting them off your phone massively improves security. The second is that you avoid distractions by having banking apps and particularly investment apps on your phone that you just go onto throughout the day and check the performance of your investments. But I do also use my iPad to track my net worth over time. Although I physically handwrite out the calculation of my net worth every few months, I track each one of those entries in Craft so I can see how my net worth is changing over time at a glance. And I then track 3 other things on my iPhone. First, habits. So I track runs and walks, workouts, and meditation time. Second thing is time spent focusing. So you should absolutely have a Pomodoro timer app blocker or something like Endel, which for me blocks apps on my phone while also playing a focus soundtrack and giving me a timer that appears as a widget on my phone home screen. And finally, fitness. I have all of the fitness apps that I use to track my workouts and also that I want to use during workouts in a specific specific fitness focus mode on my phone. I'll come on to focus modes later, but stuff like Peloton, Run, Keeper. Okay, the purpose that I use my devices for is to communicate. We all need to use our devices to message and email, but the really critical thing here is keeping those tasks from interrupting focus work as much as possible. Using my iPhone and iPad to quickly check and reply to low-lift emails or messages while I'm on the go, or spending 15 to 20 minutes on my iPad over the weekend is really powerful because it frees up more of the rest of my day for the stuff that really matters, deep work or logging off. So the app that I've been using for a while that's halved the amount of time I spend on email across my different businesses and my personal life is Superhuman Mail, part of the Superhuman Productivity Suite, and I'm delighted to say they are today's sponsor. So Superhuman Mail is an AI native email app that's like a personal assistant, grouping emails by type, prioritizing what's most important, and reminding you when you need to send a reply, or even putting together a first draft of that reply. The thing that I struggle with most with email is that I do get really important emails telling me my flight times have changed, offering me a brand deal, or sending me a newsletter I actually want to read. But all of this is just a fraction of the email I get, and all the other stuff takes up my time and attention. Superhuman Mail not only categorizes my emails, but its Ask AI has massively reduced the time I spend trawling through old emails by sender, instead allowing me to quickly tell their AI what I'm looking for and let it give me the answer. Let's face it, we have so much going on in our workdays that things are bound to slip through the cracks, costing us opportunities and sometimes our reputation. Luckily, where emails need a reply, Superhuman Mail tells you that, allows you to set a reminder so you can come back to it later, say in 2 days' time, and automatically drafts follow-ups and scheduling emails based on my calendar, meaning these small repetitive emails take seconds rather than minutes. I particularly love its Write with Voice feature that allows me to tell it broadly how I want to reply, and it then produces the full response in seconds. The reply that would have taken me maybe 10 minutes to write has taken about 30 seconds. So stop chasing the next AI hack, start using a system that makes email feel less overwhelming. You can get 1 month free of Superhuman Mail today with my link. Final very quick point on messages. I think the key point is really just make dedicated time to look at messages, whether that's on your commute or even for half an hour between work sessions, rather than allowing messages to filter throughout your day and take you out of deep work. The fourth reason I use these guys is to learn. I have an entire page on my iPhone dedicated to education. I basically replaced all of the doom scroll apps that I had before with podcasts, audiobooks, Duolingo, Skillshare, Blinkist, News, and Headspace, which is now my go-to meditation app. Alongside that, I have reading apps on the front page of my iPad, including a full widget for FT news stories, because I absolutely love at the weekend just sitting down with my coffee, opening up my iPad, going on the FT or BBC News, and just scrolling through news like I'm reading a paper. Super old man vibes, I know, but hey, I am 30. Fifth, we have entertain. I basically have all of the entertainment apps on my home screen of my iPad in a single folder, and they are carefully stored so that they're not on the very first page of my iPad, so I don't get tempted to go on Netflix when I should be working. But what is really cool, when I turn on my sleep focus mode, my iPad transforms and brings up those TV watching apps, because I am happy to watch 15 to 20 minutes of TV in bed to chill out before I go to sleep. In terms of other entertainment, on both my iPhone and my iPad, I have a massive photos widget basically taking up an entire page, because I just want to prompt myself to look back at happy memories of stuff I have done rather than going on social media apps and comparing myself to other people. The only social media I have on my iPad is in my YouTube business folder, and I try to dedicate time to watching YouTube because I want to watch the creators that I like, but not let that infiltrate the rest of my life. And the final reason I use these is to navigate. I have Google Maps on my phone. That's kind of it. All right, and now for the last few minutes of this video, I'm basically going to share all of the stuff that you can do with your devices to turn them into productivity machines, using stuff you probably didn't know existed. So the first one, you have to set up shortcuts. Two types of shortcuts. The first are created on your home screen using the Shortcuts app. So first, on my iPhone and my iPad, I have icons that allow me to quickly add tasks into specific lists in Trello. They go to the top of my Trello board. This basically means that without opening a single app, I can just quickly tap a button and type in a task that I need to add to my to-do list. Then the second shortcut I have on my iPad is this green pencil icon up in the top right. And when I press this, it pulls up a split screen view of Craft on one side and Claude on the other. This is the icon I tap every time I want to start writing a video script. Super easy, opens up two apps at once. So think about how you like to use apps together, particularly in split screen view, how you could add icons to your home screen to put you quickly into whatever process you want to be doing on your iPad. And second type of shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts. The iPad is changed forever. once you know keyboard shortcuts. So if you want to move windows around and you want to do the split screen view, globe, control, left or right arrow snaps windows from side to side. If you want to make one of those half screen apps full screen, globe F. If you want to then minimize that app, Command M minimizes it. And then the final one is globe up, and that will show you all of the apps swiping up from the bottom of your iPad. Penultimate hack is to use focus mode. So focus modes allow you to set up different home screens with different notification settings depending on which focus mode is active. So I have work, fitness, sleep, and do not disturb. Setup is really simple. Just go into settings, search focus, and then set up the focus modes you want to set up, and you can customize the home screens from within there, set up the notification settings. So for me, my work focus mode doesn't change my home screens, but just reduces notifications so that I only get notifications from essential apps and a few very limited contacts. This turns on automatically when I get close to work and turns off when I leave work. Sleep strips back my iPad and iPhone apps to only those I'm using in bed, and also tones down the colors to be sleepy purple color. And finally, fitness just shows me the workout apps that I use while I'm working out so that I don't get distracted during workouts. I've also set up a shortcut to turn on each of these focus modes and added each of those into my control panel so that I can quickly swipe down and turn on any focus mode at any time. And finally, clean up your home screen. Turn notifications off. Go into each of the apps in your settings and turn off badges for all apps other than, for me, I have messages on iMessage turned on just for 3 contacts. Turn off on your iPad, show app library in dock, and show suggested and recent apps in dock. This makes your dock look way sleeker and also means you're way less likely to get distracted because you don't have the random TV app you were watching last night in bed still in your dock the following morning. If there's one thing you do after you watch this, test every single app that you have on all of your devices, especially the ones you have on your home pages. What purpose is that app fulfilling? Is it one of the 6 permitted purposes we ran through at the start of this video? If not, get rid of it now. Delete it for good. All right, that is it. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a like, please do give it a hype, and please do leave me a comment down below. I promise I read every single one of your comments. And then subscribe to my freshly rebranded channel to see more of my videos unpacking the systems that make people successful. And I look forward to speaking again very, very soon. Thanks so much for watching.